Well, Carl doesn't need any pointers from me about racing cars, that's for sure. But I remember, and I've said it to a few people today, because obviously, the California Crum's going for the Triple Crown, and I just remember, that last 3 weeks between the Preakness and the Belmont, and of course this series is, I guess, not exactly the same. This is different years. It's a little bit different, but the fact that it was a long 3 weeks, the build up to it. But I just tried to, you really have to treat it just like any other race, even though it's not any other race, and just focus on what the best way, the situation that's going to best suit you to try to get your horse or race car in front. At the end of that, the distance, and it's Carl with horses, it's intriguing to me, about the track and stuff, hearing how the surface, how that plays a lot into it, because same with racing. I mean, there's certain spots on the racetrack that on certain days, you need to be off the rail, or you need to be right, down on the rail to get the best ground, and it's intriguing to think that a racetrack could be that different, as far as the surface stuff.
That's interesting to me. So, if you guys don't mind, I have some questions I would ask Steve. So I've read a lot about you, and but what is it about? What is it that makes you so good at riding a horse or racing a horse? What does the driver in your sport do that can separate himself from the other riders?
Well, it's probably just like your sport. First of all, you need a good horse or car. So you got to have everything. You got to have the power. The good horses all have speed, and of course the horses that run in the Triple Crown races have stamina as well. And obviously in the last leg, you need a lot of stamina to get a mile and a half, which is the furthest that they ever really go. But it's a sense of timing. It's a fearlessness to go. When you need to get through a gap, or bump somebody up the rear end, just to make sure they know you're there and you want them to get out of your way. The different things that obviously are a little bit different in racing, but you just you have to have that fearlessness, that the desire to win, and take the chances that are necessary to secure victory. Again, I don't understand car racing as well as I would like to.
It sounds exactly the same.
Yeah, it's probably, it's a little bit probably similar.
Kinds of different conditions, but
this sport, it almost pays to forget the last race, no matter where it was, or what the conditions were, because the sport evolves so quickly, and with the rules package we have now versus last year, everything's going to be different. The performance heights, the cars are lower, they have more downforce. I mean, this is going to be it'll be like going to a new racetrack, especially the way Kentucky ages, too. Every year it's different, so I think, we're talking about today, my crew chief and I, and we don't really know what to expect.
How much did that help that aging process, though? I mean, there was some of the drivers last year, just remember saying that even though you kind of start with a green track because of the rain and everything, that it did kind of help that track's maturation.
Oh, I mean, okay, so the older and nastier the pavement is, the better the racing is. I mean, that's the way it is. If you go look across the board, old pavement yields great racing. And not that Kentucky's old, it just has the right character. It's got bumps, and there are spots on the racetrack that are different. And from a driver, it doesn't look like it on television. You wouldn't know it if you were sitting in the grandstands. But if I took you for a ride around a racetrack in a car, you can tell definitely when you go over the bumps a certain way, or you go through a slick section. It's a really dynamic racetrack. I love that.
How much does it come down to knowing where those bumps are?
At the end of the race, those bumps are really, really important. And I've messed up, and I've watched people manage those. I remember a nationwide race. I watched Joey Logano. He had some things figured out in turns 1 and 2, and that was key. Getting through those bumps. So as the race goes on, you got to figure out where your car works the best, and it takes a while sometimes.
And overall, this new chase format is basically, it's changed the way we race and the way we think of these races. I have nothing but wins to think about right now. So there are no points really. It's just about going out, trying to get the win, having some fun, and that's a fun way to race. So I was, I'm pleased with the way our season's gone. We still need to be faster. My screensaver on my phone is the schedule of the last 10 races, so that all I'm thinking about is that chase and how we can go out and win it. Because there's nothing I want more than to be the champion of the Sprint Cup Series, and I think we can do that if we focus and we work on the right things and have a little bit of luck.
And just kind of be more all out now.
Yeah, I think that, yes, I agree with you, and I think it's only going to get more intense. I believe as you get closer to the chase, there are going to be guys whose only hope is to win the race, to be in the chase, and then after the first 2 races of the chase, that third race, I mean, there are going to be guys that have nothing to lose, everything to gain by winning. And I mean, we all try to win all the time, but there are times when if you have a really zero penalty for things going bad, and you have a huge upside, that there's some risks that people will take that normally they wouldn't. So I think it's going to be entertaining at the very least.
I mean, I guess in terms of risk taking, I mean, what kind of judgment are you seeing among your brethren with that? I mean,
I don't think it's gotten really intense yet, but I believe it will. I have a feeling. Yeah, I think it's going. You're going to see people staying out and not pitting and trying to block people more. You're going to see more aggressiveness on the restarts, and when it really comes down to your whole season is based on one restart. I mean, you've got to do it. You just got to do whatever it takes.